Would you feel comfortable spending $3,000 on a hobby in my situation? I am working as an engineer making $68,000. I have no college debt or any other debt. Rent is $830 and total monthly expenses are a little over $2,000. I'm contributing 16 into my 401k plus a 4 match. I am also taking $250 out of each bi-weekly check to max my Roth IRA. Currently have $16,000 in it. I have $14,000 in emergency savings, a $6,540 sign-on bonus after tax, I would have to repay if I quit before 2 years, and a couple thousand in checking. My car is a 2007 with 175,000 miles, so it's hard to say how many more years I'll get till I need a new car. Also, I may have a few unpaid weeks off in the winter. Would you make a large purchase towards a hobby right now? It's what I spend the majority of my time doing outside of work and is my form of fitness and exercise. Yes. You sound like you have your finances in order, your rent is affordable for this day and age, and you have an emergency fund. Equally important to financial stability, or arguably more important, is personal happiness and growth. If you spend most of your free time doing something that fulfills you, then you should continue to pursue it. On a side note, what's the hobby? $3,000 on a mountain bike? Do it. You're in a pretty good spot financially. Only thing I'd be worried about is needing a new car. I'm in a 2008 with 200k miles and I probably only have 2-3 years left on that thing tops. $68,000 also seems really low for engineering. Are you talking about bicycles? Because 3k is low to middle money for someone with a bicycle problem. Sounds like you have the financial basis to indulge. Also, if you think 3k is expensive, look at how much a cardiologist is. Anything that gets you exercising is a win. If you call it a sport, you might feel better about it. P. Good financial health is not about not spending, it's just about spending in the right places and not spending in places that don't matter as much to you. It's what I spend the majority of my time doing outside of work. Would have done it a long time ago then. Our personal finance, where people take having 3 cars in their driveway totaling $100,000 for granted as a necessity, but ask permission to buy a bicycle. Yes. If exercising is your hobby, I say go for it. If it was for crack, I'd say buy smaller amounts, nerd face. Since you're still very young, it's a smart thing to do something good for yourself once in a while so you don't burn yourself out. If you have the means, then live it up. A bike is cheap compared to other hobbies. Something that helps me when I want to make a purchase like this is divide the cost by time I plan to own it. For sake of argument, let's make that 5 years. $3,000, $500-600 per year. That's $50 per month. Would you spend $50 a month on something you enjoy brings you happiness? I certainly would. As long as you're not having to finance or borrow money for this, go for it. Seems like your finances are in order and everyone deserves to enjoy the fruits of their labor. Sure, but I have a horse, so I'm used to spending stupid amounts of money on a hobby. As soon as I saw the pricing, I was like, I bet it's cycling. I think it's worth it as a cyclist. Nervously looks at garage filled with bikes, skis, paddleboard, whitewater boats, and kettlebell. With your financial situation, I wouldn't feel bad about buying a $10,000 mountain bike. You're doing well, and saving. Reward yourself. Since you seem to have your shit in order, do what I do. 0 interest 24mo credit card that lets you put your points to bill credit. Find the interest date on the first statement and do the bill pay with points. Set auto pay to pay it off 2 months ahead of time. Now it's interest free with a few % discount and you can pay it off over 22 months with the money in a hissa. Buy the bike and ride the heck out of it. I wouldn't deplete your refund or cash out any investments to spend $3,000 on your hobby. But if you are covering all your other bases, go ahead and budget money to set aside for this purchase. Proper budgeting doesn't mean you don't get to spend money on fun things for yourself. It just means that you plan for it and set aside the money for it. Your take-home pay can't be more than $3,500 a month, and $2,000 monthly expensive is well over 50 of that, which some would say is unreasonable. What's your take-home exactly after 401k, health, and Roth? I see you are into cycling. Is the hobby getting a road bike? If you can afford it, sure, do it. I purchased a giant bike for $1,500. That same bike model now sells for $2,000 back 2018, and I don't regret it at all. I still use the bike today and proud every time I ride it. I did this without anything in savings. You have money in savings, doesn't hurt to treat yourself to something that brings you joy and good health. Don't forget to get locks, lights and helmet while you are at it. Why are you even asking? Smiley face, you're the definition of disciplined finances. Hobbies that work out for physical and mental wellness is money well spent, in my book. I just wanna know, where TF are you paying $830 for rent? Asking for a house guest that needs to move out of my place. You can have any hobby you want if you save for it in advance. Play money is play money whether you spend it weekly or annually. Seems like you have a pretty solid plan in place at 22. Remember, all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. Depends on what bike you want to buy. In your situation, it's not even a question in my mind. Buy the bike, use it to enrich your health, and enjoy life. You're in good shape. For a one-time purchase for a hobby that you already know you love and spend a lot of time on, go for it. But keep the momentum going and don't get comfortable making big leisure purchases. What's the hobby and how much is it? Can't really say anything till we know. This feels like a repost from 2017, where are you getting rent for $830? Your situation seems really solid honestly in terms of comp versus cost of living. I'm assuming this is some sort of home gym equipment based on your description. Try not to make a habit out of it, but I'd argue that should go for it. I would say you are in a fine situation to make a $3,000 purchase, especially so since it's a bike which could be seen as an investment in your health. Quick question. Why is your emergency savings $14,000? A year of rent is only $9,960. I personally recommend not letting it go to waste. Take $6,500 of that and put it to work tomorrow in a Roth IRA. You can always remove contributions if needed in a pinch. I recommend opening up some no annual fee credit cards. For example, you can get a $15,000 limit one with 15 months of 0 April. This is perfect for emergency spending because you can come up with the cash from your other sources if needed before interest kicks in. You are too young to be sitting on cash. I'm 27 now, and when I was your age I was in a very similar financial situation. Similar pay, similar savings, etc. I went and bought a project car when I was 23. Paid $1,000 for it, sunk a few thousand into it, so I'm looking at you as if it were myself in hindsight. It's hard for me to say this because I went and did exactly what you're looking to do, but my 2C, save your money for now. Hobbies can come later. I've sunk more money into my hobbies than I'd care to admit. So would I feel comfortable? Yes. Would I recommend? Not right now. Hell yeah. Also, I would take some of that 401k money and find another investment just to diversify, but that's just me. 1. Do it. Check used options too, but don't let that stop you. 2. What can you do to improve your income? I recognize you're young and this is probably your first real job, but that is a bit low for engineering. 3. Consider bumping your 401k contribution up higher. The sooner you can max it out the better at your age. 4. Keep that car going as long as you can, but definitely keep saving for a new one unless you want to be riding your new bike around instead of a car. Hopefully you can keep the old car going long enough for the car market to fully right itself.